Hello, everyone. Amy Collins here. I am thrilled to have Phyllis Ginsberg with me today. Welcome to this webinar, this class that Phyllis has put together for all of us, and she has titled it, Tired of Being Tired. I am very, very honored because Phyllis, besides being one of my favorite authors, and she is a client of mine and somebody that I've known now for several months, she's also helped me immensely. As I was working with her on her book, Tired and Hungry No More, and her first book, Brain Makeover, I have learned so much about the different ways of being tired and the different things that are happening. And I'd love to tell you a little bit more about Phyllis and how she and I met and how she came to teach this class for us now. Phyllis, how are you doing today?
I am great and so happy to be here with everyone.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about Phyllis as she, as her picture comes up here. Phyllis was, when we first met, Phyllis was, and is, and continues to be, a very dynamic author and expert who teaches and coaches people lots of times on webinars like this, but also teleseminars. She does a lot of travel, a lot of classes, and she teaches people the executable steps, the actual hands-on things that they need to reclaim some of their energy, some of their vim and vigor for life. But when Phyllis first got started with this, one of the things that I was the most impressed with is her very long career as a family and marriage therapist. She dealt with a lot of high conflict divorce cases for many, many years. I'm not going to say how many, that's for her to say, not for me. But after an extremely successful but exhausting career as a family and marriage therapist who specialized, again, in high conflict divorce cases, she found herself a little burned out. And as we were getting to know each other, talking about her books and her program, she told me about a couple of things that actually moved her from the career where she was to where she is today. And Phyllis, I know you're about to talk a lot about in this class, but do you mind sharing with everyone a little bit of that story so that they can know a little bit about where you came from?
Oh, I would be happy to share. Actually, I've got two life-changing events that shaped who I've become and the work that I do. The first one has to do with health. At the age of 19, I was in a weight loss program. That's when I learned I had extremely high cholesterol. I was in so much fear because my mom had super high cholesterol. I thought I was doomed and destined to go down the same path she did, suffering with her weight, arthritis, and migraine headaches. And then getting breast cancer and dying at the young age of 37. Fortunately, I adopted a lifestyle of healthy eating that lowered my cholesterol to normal, and that was almost 40 years ago. This made a big impact on my life and is a primary reason why I wrote Tired and Hungry No More. But the second life-changing event that you alluded to happened in 2005 when I experienced near burnout in every area of my life. As a therapist in private practice with an expertise of working with high conflict divorce, I had a full practice and an 8-month waiting list for child custody evaluations. I said yes to way too many cases. I was exhausted from working more hours than was humanly possible to sustain. It was affecting my health, and I knew I had to do something different. I took some much needed time off and got my life back in ways that I never thought were possible. Some of what I discovered is what I want to share with you here.
Well, that actually brings me to my point with you guys. I've got a few housekeeping issues that I'd love to go over with you before I let Phyllis teach us some of this amazing wisdom that she has. This story that she told you was just the beginning for her. But if any of that sounds familiar to you, as it does to me, the burnout, the idea of exhaustion, we're going to cover today a whole bunch of items that Phyllis has been working on, and she's created this class for us. So as we move on to the next screen, we're going to cover together, and she's going to teach us the different kinds of tired. It's so much more than just not getting enough sleep. Many, many times there's something else that's really going on, and she's going to help us identify what's really happening. But besides just the whole you're going to bed too late, or perhaps you're drinking caffeine, besides the obvious, she gets below that. She really digs down. And then once we've identified what's really happening, Phyllis is going to give us very executable steps, solutions and actions that will help us increase our energy. So may I recommend that as she goes through these steps, she's going to be asking us to jot a few things down. Now would be a great time to grab a piece of paper and a pen. Don't worry, we'll wait for you. Run, walk, do what you need to. Be careful, but please get a piece of paper and some sort of writing implement so that we can all get the best use out of this next hour with Phyllis. I would ask you to consider to please put aside your phones and Facebook and Twitter and all the distractions, and really give yourself the gift of this next 45 to 50 minutes with Phyllis, because she has agreed to answer all of our questions. And as she teaches this class, you're going to have a lot of questions. Throw them in the Q&A box, jot them down on paper, do what you need to, but Phyllis will stick around at the end and answer all of your questions. If you have questions as things are going along, just go to the Q&A box, click on the Q&A box, and type your questions in. I promise that I will ask them all of Phyllis when the session is over, and she will stick around and answer all of your questions. Is everyone ready? Do you have paper? Do you have pencil? Do you know where the Q&A box is? If you found the Q&A box, if you could throw a yes or a sure or the 1 minute to tell me what you need in the Q&A box, and we will get started. Again, Phyllis, I cannot thank you for this session that you have already, we've gone through it together. I am so grateful for your expertise and your generosity with this free class. All right, it looks like everyone's ready. So with that, Phyllis, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Amy. I appreciate everyone who is here live and those watching the recording. Thanks for being here. I have a question for you. What kind of tired are you? Are you lack of sleep tired? This would be from not getting enough sleep. Are you low energy tired? Dragging yourself out of bed, not having enough energy to do what you need to do or want to do? Or are you exhausted tired, run down, barely able to function, and possibly dealing with a health issue? Which one describes your kind of tired? You can type it in the Q&A box if you like. That would be great. If not, jot it down on your piece of paper so that you can identify what kind of tired you are. There are other kinds of tireds as well. Do you catch yourself saying out loud or to yourself, you're tired or tired of a situation? Are you tired of being tired? Tired of being sick and not feeling well? Tired of being overweight? Tired of being in debt? Or tired of struggling? We'll get to some of these later. But now, let's talk about the impact of being tired from lack of sleep. It only takes 2 or 3 nights of poor sleep to feel sleep deprived. Sleep deprivation is a serious problem that affects every area of life, from your food choices to your ability to be productive, attentive, and healthy. Difficulty falling asleep and difficulty staying asleep are common problems for millions of people. More than 1/3 of American adults are not getting enough sleep on a regular basis, according to a study by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Lack of sleep takes a toll on your body and immune system. Lack of sleep has been linked to increased rates of heart disease, obesity, stroke, and even certain types of cancers. Sleep plays an integral role in regulating the body's immune system, which is responsible for fighting off everything from the common cold to more serious chronic problems like I mentioned previously. Sleep is the time when your body repairs itself at the cellular level. Also, while you sleep, Muscles are repaired from damage and wear and tear from the day. Lack of sleep can contribute to increased hunger and weight gain. Sleep is when the hormones that regulate appetite are released. A study from the University of Chicago determined that 4 nights of sleep deprivation reduced insulin sensitivity in fat cells by 30%. The less sensitive your cells are to insulin, the less your body produces the hunger-regulating hormone leptin. The less leptin you produce, the hungrier you are, and the sensors that tell you when you are full or satisfied don't work properly. At the same time, your body may produce higher levels of ghrelin, a biochemical that stimulates appetite. As a result, you may experience food cravings even after you've eaten an adequate number of calories, leading to overeating and weight gain or difficulty losing weight. Lack of sleep has a negative effect on your relationships. Your relationship with yourself and others can be challenging when you don't get adequate sleep. Your brain, which regulates mood and coping skills, needs a good night's sleep to work optimally. Chronic insomnia has been linked to an increased risk of developing a mood disorder, such as anxiety or depression. It's difficult to be in a relationship when you feel tired, irritable, and down. Lack of sleep may jeopardize your ability to function at work. Multiple nights of poor sleep can affect your mental performance, ability to learn, and to problem solve. Sleep helps your brain keep attention and focus sharp. You know that foggy feeling when you haven't had enough sleep and you just can't pay attention like you usually do? Your brain needs more sleep. There are some obvious reasons to be tired that prevent you from getting good sleep. There's staying up too late, drinking liquids too close to bedtime and waking up to use the bathroom, and consuming caffeine in the late afternoon or evening. Now, you may not have to give up your coffee, tea, soda, or chocolate, but consider this. If you have a difficult time falling asleep, it could be due to your caffeine consumption. Caffeine can disrupt your normal sleep-wake cycle. Here's something I learned about caffeine. The effects of caffeine can last in your body for several hours. It takes 6 to 8 hours for the stimulant effects of caffeine to be reduced by 1/2. When it comes to daily caffeine intake, it's important to think about the amount of caffeine and the time of day you're consuming it. Also consider that you might be consuming multiple sources of caffeine, increasing your total amount for the day. Next are some not so obvious reasons to be tired. The activities you do an hour or 2 before sleep can have a positive or negative effect. Exposure to light, especially blue light from electronics, your cell phone, television, computer, tablet, and fluorescent lights may cause you to have difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep. These lights have your brain thinking that it's daytime and not time to produce the sleep hormone melatonin to get you ready for sleep. It's best to avoid using electronic devices at night before going to sleep. Experiment with decreasing your exposure to unnecessary light 30 to 90 minutes before you want to go to sleep. Next, stressful conversations before bed can leave you agitated, making it difficult to fall asleep or stay asleep. Avoid participating in or watching others engage in conflict, including what you watch on TV, in a movie, or on the news. Before bed is not the time to be reading a book that you can't put down. Refrain from doing things that will stimulate your mind and keep you awake close to bedtime. Find ways to relax in the evening with quiet activities. Read a book or magazine. Do a puzzle. Have calm conversations. Do some yoga or stretching. Listen to calm music. Meditate. Or do slow, deep breathing. Another not so obvious reason to be tired is what you do first thing in the morning. That can affect your sleep. Did you know that getting morning sunlight can help you sleep better at night? Sunlight and darkness signal the release of hormones in your brain. Exposure to sunlight increases the release of serotonin, the hormone associated with elevating mood and helping you feel calm and focused. At night, as it gets darker, the brain produces the sleep hormone melatonin. Ideally, the production of serotonin and melatonin occur to have you awake and alert in the morning and sleepy at night. Unfortunately, without enough sun exposure, serotonin levels can decline, making it difficult to wake up in the morning. People with very low serotonin levels may experience seasonal affect disorder and feel depressed during dark winter months. You don't have to have seasonal affect disorder to benefit from morning sunlight or light therapy. When your body is in sync with nature's light-dark cycle, your production of melatonin will regulate, making it easier to fall asleep at night. It is recommended to expose your eyes to light upon waking or shortly after. Open the shades, let the sunlight in, or better yet, go outside for natural sunlight. Do not look directly at the sun. If there isn't enough natural sunlight where you live, or if you suffer from seasonal affect disorder, then I recommend looking into light therapy. Another not so obvious reason to be tired is the temperature of the room you sleep in. Research shows that sleep happens best in a dark, cool room at about 65 degrees. Lowering your body temperature at night helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. Rising temperature signals your body to move into a state of alertness in the morning. Set your thermostat to a comfortable, cool temperature. Open a window or turn on a fan. If you feel cold, wear socks to bed rather than heavy pajamas or piling on blankets. The idea is to be comfortable enough to fall asleep and not get too hot during the night. If you feel too warm when you go to sleep or tend to wake up feeling hot, wear light, breathable nightwear. To recap the reasons to be tired, there's staying up too late, drinking liquids close to bedtime, consuming caffeine in the late afternoon or evening, exposure to bright light or blue light, difficulty unwinding because of stress or agitation, low levels of serotonin and melatonin, and feeling too warm at night. I want to ask, did you find this helpful? Just type a yes or a no in the Q&A box. And if you had one that resonated with you, you can type that in too.
A couple people here, Phyllis, just so you know, have mentioned being sleep deprived. You know, a lot of times it's survival stress, just a lot of health issues and everything that you're talking about. So for those of you who are, you know, listening from a computer and have access to the Q&A box, which of these most resonated with you? Are you like me? Are you guilty of staying up too late and drinking caffeine too close to bedtime? Suzanne is saying that sleeping in the cool is good. So it sounds, and Blessing, it looks like also has the same reaction. So yeah, Phyllis, keep going. People are digging it.
All right. So I want to also recap the ways to improve sleep. Finding ways to relax before going to sleep, that's personal, and it's important to find some ways to relax with quiet activities before you go to sleep. Get exposure to sunlight in the morning, and sleep in a dark, cool room at about 65 degrees. Now let's see if we can get to the source of why you're tired and what's really going on. Tired is a symptom. We know what the problem is. You're tired. maybe you're not sleeping well, or there's something else going on. If you lack quality sleep, a great question to ask yourself is, what keeps me from getting better sleep? Lack of quality sleep could be from staying up too late because you have too many responsibilities. Maybe from work, children, aging parents, or something else. Or you yourself are dealing with a medical condition or chronic pain. The key here is to identify what keeps you from getting quality sleep. A poor diet can affect your sleep because of blood sugar fluctuations and lack of nutrients from too much processed food, junk food, fast food, simple carbohydrates, white flour, and sugar. Being tired could be from thoughts and emotions. When you can't turn your brain off, this could be from overthinking about the day, an event, or what you need to do the next day. Or maybe worries, anxiety, and fears keep you up at night. Being tired could be from a sedentary lifestyle. Lack of circulation, feeling lethargic, and napping during the day could have you feeling more awake at night. Next, being tired could stem from dehydration. Your body is 50 to 60% water, and your brain is 85% water. We need water to function. Are you getting some clarity? What symptoms do you relate to? Go ahead and type them into the Q&A box. Do any of these resonate with you?
Yeah, Phyllis, we've got a couple people. I've got a quick question. You said, that taking a nap actually can keep you up at night?
If you
sounds
sleep
funny
for,
to.
yeah,
I'm
if
sorry?
you sleep for an hour or two during the day, a long nap.
Yeah, so that's what you're saying.
wrong.
You're not saying a short nap. You're saying, sleeping during the day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that, because as we'll get to later, a short nap, like a cat nap, as they call it, might be a good thing, but definitely sleeping during the day can be a problem at night.
A couple people have chimed in that they do sleep well for the most part at night, but they're still tired during the day, even though they feel they sleep well at night. So, and I know you cover that. So why don't we keep going?
Yes. All right, so internal causes of being tired could be why you sleep well during the night, but you're still tired during the day. And the first one is stress. For a lot of people, when you're stressed, you're so stressed that you can't relax. The second internal cause of being tired are emotions. Fear, worry, resentment, anger, grief. These heavy emotions are tiring to live with or suppress, as a great many people do. The third is dissatisfaction. It could be your job, your finances, your body, or a relationship that has you dissatisfied and yearning for something to be better. It's distressing and tiring to feel dissatisfied. I want to show you what happens when you have these internal causes of being tired. First, everything starts with a thought. Right in the middle of this chart, you will see thoughts lead to feelings that then lead to actions. Above and below are two paths. Most of us are on the fear and worry path, and you'll see why in a moment. Scientists say we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. 95% are the same every single day, and 80% are negative. It's not your fault, and there's a good reason for this. The human brain was designed for survival with survival thinking. We tend to focus on what we don't want to have happen. We don't want to repeat past traumas, failures, or have any new ones. It's just our survival brain trying to keep us safe. Here's how it goes. When we have a fearful or worrisome thought, the fight or flight response is triggered, releasing stress hormones. we feel stressed and are in reactive mode. If you were in real danger, you'd want the fight or flight response to kick in and produce cortisol and adrenaline so you could fight or flee. Unfortunately, more and more people today are experiencing chronic stress because of their worries and fears, even when there is no real danger. Think about when the phone rings and it's someone you don't want to talk to, or you open your email and you see one from your boss, your ex, or your doctor. Any of these could trigger the fight or flight response depending on the meaning you make of what you see. In other words, your thoughts determine what happens physiologically in your body. In addition, the brain doesn't know the difference if something happened or you just thought about it. Therefore, just by thinking about a stressful situation, you can produce the fight or flight response along with sweaty palms, a racing heart, or any other signs of stress. Moving on to the pleasant and happy path. When you have pleasant or happy thoughts, your body produces the feel-good hormones, serotonin and dopamine. You feel calm and relaxed, and you can take deliberate action. This is when you have access to your intuition, guidance, and wise mind. You're more open to possibilities and can make decisions with awareness. What I've discovered is that when you lean into what you're thinking and how you're feeling, rather than avoiding it, overriding it, or stuffing your thoughts and feelings down with food, that's when the relief comes. And so do the answers that are right for you. I've seen this over and over. It's the ripple effect. When you change a thought, when you change your thought process, it carries over in every area of your life. The formula in which you think impacts your behaviors. I guide people to change their thinking with a technique from energy psychology called Eft Tapping, and the results are incredible. What is tapping? Well, if you're not familiar with Eft Tapping, it stands for the Emotional Freedom Technique. It's highly effective at reducing or eliminating fears, phobias, traumas, stress, and stress-related symptoms in minutes. Yes, I said minutes. Eft tapping works by calming the fight or flight response and releasing stored emotions. It works by tapping on meridian points, similar to those used in Chinese medicine and acupuncture, but without needles. Some of the benefits include, as the name says, the emotional freedom technique. It frees stored emotions in your body so you'll be able to recall an event but not be triggered by it any longer. Tapping reduces stress by calming the amygdala, the part of the brain that triggers the fight or flight response and signals the release of stress hormones. And tapping rewires the brain. I've been using tapping for over 20 years and personally knew Dr. Roger Callahan, who pioneered this technique. We're going to be doing some tapping together. I'm going to take you through a tapping script on the topic of being tired from my book, Tired and Hungry No More. The script is designed to get to the core of the issue and transform it. First, I'd like you to take a moment and think about feeling physically or mentally tired, or feeling tired of a specific situation that you would like to be different. Once you get which specific situation, then rate your level of stress or discomfort on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most stressful or discomfort. And you can do that, write it on your piece of paper while I change my screen so you can see me. And let's see.
All right, Phyllis, while you're stopping your screen share, just remind us perfect. What are we writing the number down for? Just remind everyone. We've got someone who asked you to repeat that.
Okay, so you're thinking about a situation that either when you feel tired, or that you're mentally, physically tired, or you're tired of. So one of those.
All right. I've got mine. Okay.
Okay. And so everybody got theirs? You got your number written down? This is really important because by the time that we finish, we're going to do 3 rounds of tapping. Each one has a different purpose. Your number is going to change, and I want you to be able to see the shift.
And the number 1 to 10, 10 is absolutely the worst bit of tired?
Correct. 10 it is the worst, most stressful, distressing thing that you can think of when you think of being tired.
All right. Got it.
Clear? All right. So the first round is acknowledging. And if you've never done tapping before, don't worry. You can't get it wrong. I am going to be guiding you. All you have to do is follow along and repeat after me. All right, so we're starting at the eyebrow point, which is where your eyebrow starts closest to your nose. And you're taking 2 fingers and just tapping lightly. And just repeat after me. I'm tired. Next, we're going to move to the side of the eye. And you're going to repeat after me. I'm exhausted. And then under the eye, right under the pupil. I'm afraid of pretending everything is okay when it's not. I'm sorry, you know what? I misread that. It's I'm tired of pretending everything is okay when it's not. Under the nose. I know if you've never done tapping before, it might look silly, it might feel funny, but it works. I'm tired of holding it together. Then in the chin crease. I'm tired of trying to make everyone else happy. Next is your collarbone. I'm tired of accommodating others. And then under your arm, which is about 4 inches under the armpit, I'm tired of putting myself and my needs last. Lastly, top of head, I'm tired. All right, take a big deep breath. Notice any thoughts or feelings that came up. You can jot them down. Think about your original situation and write down your number. See if it changed. All right, so I hope everybody's making notes for themselves so that if something did come up, a thought, a feeling, that you can go back to it or you can ask me about it later. All right, the second round of tapping introduces possibilities. This gives your brain a new channel to function from. Rather than focusing on a problem, you will be guided to several options. The introduction of possibility thinking serves 2 purposes. One is that you may like one of the suggestions, but the other, more important, is that it trains your brain to start building new neural pathways and becoming solution-focused instead of problem-focused. So, if you're ready, here we go. We're going to do the same tapping points. We're starting at the eyebrow, closest to your nose, and just tap lightly. Repeat after me. What would happen if I stopped pretending that I'm okay when I'm not? Side of the eye. What would happen if I thought of myself more often? Under the eye. Maybe I don't need to worry about others so much. Under the nose. I wonder what I could do differently. Chin. Maybe I could be more honest with myself. Collarbone. Maybe I could be honest with my family. Underarm. Maybe something good will come of this. Top of head. I'm ready to not be so tired. Take a big deep breath. Jot down any thoughts or feelings that came up for you. And again, think about your stressful situation and rate it. And see if your number has changed. All right. We're ready for the third round of tapping. This round of tapping is anchoring, meaning that we are anchoring in a positive outcome or a state of being. Most people feel really good as we say anchoring statements, although it's not uncommon if you're not ready for them to feel a bit of stress. All that means is that you need to go back and do some tapping on the thoughts or feelings that are creating that stress. Oh, we're starting at the eyebrow. I know it's up to me to take care of my health and happiness. Side of the eye. I'm ready to start thinking of my well-being. Under the eye. I know I can take better care of me. Under the nose. I do want to feel healthy and happy. In the chin crease, I give myself permission to do more things for me. Collarbone. I can speak up more and ask for what I need. Underarm. I deserve to be healthy and happy. And top of head, I am ready to do more for me. Take a big deep breath. Once again, jot down any thoughts or feelings that you may have. Think about your situation and write down the number that you are at now. By now, it should be significantly lower and maybe even gone. If you feel comfortable and you're willing to type that number that you first started with and the number you're at now into the Q&A box, that would be great. And you can do that while I get us back to the slides.
Phyllis, I'm very comfortable sharing that I started out, I had to picture the exhaustion that came with trying to please all of my clients and just feeling so tired all the time that I can't keep up with all the promises I've made. And I gave myself an 8. And as we went through those 3 rounds, so many things started happening. One of the big things I noticed, though, is that, and Susie also noticed this, a lot of yawning all of a sudden. I'm going to yawn now.
Yes.
Just talking about it. The yawning was unbelievable while I was tapping and having these thoughts and these feelings. And a whole bunch of things did come up, but I started at 8. And by the time we were done, I'm at like 2 or 3 right now.
Awesome. And the yawning means that you have calmed your nervous system, that it has relaxed, the fight or flight response has calmed down, and that you have released the stored energy around that whole situation enough to bring it down to a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Guys, I hope that you had the same sort of number reduction that I did. Feel free to either share or not share as you wish, but I felt very compelled to just, Phyllis, thank you. That was wonderful.
Oh, you're welcome. This is the magic, you might say my magic wand, my tool that I have embraced and been able to use to get these kinds of results every time that I do tapping with someone. So what I'd like to do now is to complete my presentation, and then I'd be happy to answer questions. So you can't be at your best when you're tired. And I've got 7 ways for you to recharge. While these tips aren't a substitute for a sound night's sleep, they will help you recharge without relying on consuming food and drinks with caffeine, sugar, and simple carbohydrates to make it through. And here they are. You could meditate for 20 minutes if that's your thing. If not, don't even try if you think it's going to stress you out. This is, like I like to offer, a buffet of options. You could take a 20 to 30 minute nap, like a cat nap, not sleep all day. A short walk. Did you know that a 20-minute walk is only walking for one direction for 10 minutes and back for 10 minutes? It doesn't take very long to get up and move a bit, stretch or do yoga, and that can get your energy moving. Drink a big glass of water. A lot of us are dehydrated. We don't drink enough water, and without enough water, you don't have the circulation and the energy that your body needs to be able to keep up. Listening to enjoyable music is one of my favorites. You can listen to something upbeat or something relaxing, whatever works for you to recharge. Eating a piece of fruit. It's got natural sugar and fiber, so you won't get the sugar spike, but you will get some good, decent nutrition, some phytonutrients, and be able to have just a little extra boost by having a piece of fruit. And if you're in a place like home and you can take a bath, get in some water, jump in a pool, being in water sometimes can be a real benefit to recharging as well. So let me ask, are any of these things that you could do? Are you willing to do? Is this something that you're willing to do? 1 or 2 of these? If so, type yes in the Q&A and maybe mention 1 or 2 that you're willing to do.
Well, somebody here has mentioned that they're willing to drink more water, that they definitely know they need to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, I am very willing to commit right now. The biggest thing I need to do on a regular basis is I need to get up from my desk more often, stretch, take a walk, even around my building, and I do need to drink more water. So moving and water are the 2 that I absolutely can commit to right now.
That's wonderful. It doesn't take much to see a difference, a shift in energy by doing a little bit. All right, so that is my my wrap-up of the presentation. I don't know, Amy, if there's more comments.
There are a number of people watching, and it looks like, from what I can see, making notes and chatting. All right. Well, Phyllis, these easy ways to recharge, how long, when you say it doesn't take long, how long, if they're watching this video again and maybe going through the tapping process again and taking a little stretch on a regular basis, drinking more water, listening to music, not spiking their blood sugar, none of these changes are too onerous, but how long should they be until they start feeling or seeing some improvement?
It's possible that you do one of these things, like you drink a big glass of water, and within minutes, you feel energized. Or you put on some upbeat music, or have a piece of fruit. You know what it's like when you have, you've gone too long without eating, and you start to feel like the low blood sugar, and you're just heading for a crash. As soon as you have a little something to eat, you perk up, you feel better. It's kind of like you water a plant and it gets a little water and sunlight and it perks up. Well, it doesn't take long for us to get that same kind of benefit. Could be within minutes. It could be if you're doing some walking, or maybe you start napping during the day, for, doing a 20-minute nap. You could feel better within a day or two, depending on what your evening sleep is like. Like if your whole sleep is messed up at night, then you might need a little bit more. But I also think once you figure out why you have these difficulties and what might be getting in the way, just like we did the tapping, you felt the energy free. That is going to give you more circulation. You're not carrying the heavy density of those emotions. And when we do tapping like that, it's permanent. Once those are released, they're gone for good. So lots of different ways to get to the same path.
All right. Well, for those of you who are interested in going even deeper than the instant gratification of a big glass of water, this has been very informative, but Phyllis, you actually can take people a lot deeper through this. You've got a 4-week telephone-based workshop coming up in early July. Guys, I signed up for this. It's one of the things that I was compelled to do after reading her book, Tired and Hungry No More. Phyllis is going to take us through the concepts that we went through today. She's going to dig in much deeper and help us uncover what's keeping us tired. Really help us to shift what's not working. See, I've gotten into the caffeine cycle. It's a vicious cycle that I've gotten into, but she's not telling me I have to give it up, but she is asking me to make some shifts in what's not working. And this tele-workshop, it's only 4 weeks. It's a very short commitment. It allows us to really address the inner struggles that's getting in the way of having more energy. I am guilty, very, very guilty of wanting more energy, wanting to fight and combat this exhaustion, and yet unwilling to do some of the very simple things that I need to do to make that happen. So Phyllis is a very generous use of her time. She is offering a 4-week tele-workshop where we're going to dig much deeper than what we just went through. It's taking what we've learned today, but really going nuts with it. She also is offering it at an enormous discount to anyone watching this webinar. So before we get to that, and we have a number of questions for you guys that I do want to cover, but Phyllis, do you want to explain a little more in depth what you're going to teach us all?
Sure, I would love to. During this 4-week tele-workshop, we're going to go deeper, like you said. We're going to be doing tapping on your personal situations and putting a plan together so that you want to do something better, you want a better result. Maybe you know what to do, but you're not doing it. We're going to get to the why of it's not working so that you can actually proceed and accomplish what you want. So imagine experiencing the benefits of increased energy and immune system functioning, decreased cortisol levels and weight loss, a sense of calm and clarity. This is not a diet plan. In the tele-workshop, you will learn practical ways to enhance your health and increase your happiness, a unique approach for powerful, positive, and lasting lifestyle changes, and how to naturally improve your sleep. If you're not as healthy as you want to be, you want to live a long life, and you know if you keep doing what you're doing, you're not going to get where you want to go, then this workshop is for you. Imagine what it would be like to feel healthy with good sleep, good energy, and good mood. What would that be like? How would that impact your life?
Oh, it would impact mine dramatically. All right. So Susie was asking when this starts. Guys, it's Tuesday nights for 4 weeks. It starts Tuesday, July 16th. It's 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Phyllis, if somebody can't make one of the sessions, what happens?
Each session is recorded, and the recording is sent out shortly after the session. So if you happen to miss one, no problem. You can watch a recording. You can participate as if you're on it live, and you'll get the same benefits.
All right. And guys, this teleworkshop, besides including the recordings, besides you getting all that, also includes a workbook. The Tired and Hungry No More workbook that Phyllis has put together is also part of this class. Phyllis, you are selling this class originally, for the most part, when you've done these before, but when you do these 4-week ones, they're $147. But for anyone watching this webinar, and for anyone who signs up before Sunday night, it's only $97. That is less than $25 a class. I spend more than $25 at Ulta on a regular basis. I spend more than $25 on, a very, very inexpensive lunch out. So for $97 for a 4-week workshop that includes the recordings, that includes the workbook, this is a fantastic opportunity. And Phyllis, you are offering this discount through Sunday. Is that correct?
Correct. Sunday, July 14th. What I wanted to tell you what's in the workbook is it's got an assessment, and it's designed to be tailored to you personally with activities that I'll be guiding you through. It's almost like having a personal session with me. So I hope you'll take advantage of participating in the workshop. If this resonates with you, please check it out at tiredandhungrynomore.eventbrite.com.
tiredandhungrynomore.eventbrite.com. For those of you who are watching this on a replay, the link is right below this video. I'm going to be there. I hope to see the rest of you there. tiredandhungrynomore.eventbrite.com.